Turn your house into a dream home. Recently opened, a brand new one-stop stop for hardware and home decor. Visit the Home Hub at Mauble Madan Riting.
Kajing pep school siteng por ka wanra ya kajing sokya ka bajor ya ka sarkar Jylla. Habakran mentagasngi unong aibut jong katanat puli puti ka Jylla uba Himalaya sang pliang ulaong. Bakat kum ka kaipot kidon arpo Hajar Ngut gi khana kiba pep school no hapreng ka class 10 ba class 12 house name arhaja arpo arhuway. Ulong ba kajing pep school ha ka Jylla ka lakot sya ka arhuway% bar ka day ka jingkhen ka baheb ha. Kumta bantiala kam yakani uba sangpiang ulong bakat sorkar kalapha ban puli bnya yakadaw bat ban wanra yakijingai jingmut komno ban pinbet yakani gijing e ha ka juga por ulong bakawai pat kadai gijing duna jong school high secondary school ha ka Jylla badu gentu ya ki managing committee jong ki school secondary bakin kerpat ya ka sorkar ban play ya ka higher secondary unong aibot jong atanat puli puthi ula kenturu yakinong hikai bakin donnya ke jingkit kle wat lagi don chibun ke jing e nambar baka sorkar kam e yaki bar ula maham bakim de bande sting ye ka kam ga jongki kadba na kamanta ki school ki beduna ki nong hikai kan pin state ban khot interview no ye ki bapas ya ka mtet kat bala.
Well, it's a matter of concern for each one of us in the state after we have got the report, an analysis report, that the dropout rates at the secondary level is about 21%. We try to find out the reasons, but I think the best reasons to get the answer is by conducting a study for which the department has been directed by the Minister Education to undergo an in-depth study about the causes, the reasons for the dropouts, and to also to suggest solutions of how to combat this alarming situation in the education system in the state. We have noticed that the dropout rates in the year 21-22 have gone to almost 20,000 in the class 10 to 11. That means there could be reasons for failure in the metric exams. There could be reasons for not being able to pursue the educations due to poverty or due to any other factors. We saw in the report that even at the class 1 to class 2 level, there is a considerable drop of the attendance. That means there are dropouts even at that level. So we need to conduct a study to find out the reason. Nevertheless, we also are adopting the new education policy very shortly, and this education policy will be customized to favor the conditions of our state, Meghalaya. And to this regard, the Honorable Minister has already given directions to constitute a committee which will redraft the Meghalaya education policy. And while drafting the Meghalaya education policy, this committee will also try to adopt the favorable projects or schemes from the national policy so as to suit the schools and the colleges of our state. We are going to give more emphasis on vocational education, skill development from class 8 onwards till class 12 in this new policy, so that our children who would not like to pursue further studies will not drop out, will take up these vocational classes, and they will be able to stand on their own feet to earn their own livelihood. This is our intention, to provide this kind of avenues for such children who would not like to continue with their further studies. We are also aware that there is a shortage of higher secondary schools in the state. While there are 1,462 secondary schools, there are only 386 higher secondary schools. Therefore, if one analyzes, when there are almost 1,500 secondary schools, the children that come out of these secondary schools may not find admissions for higher secondary because there are just about less than 400 higher secondary schools. The government would encourage more higher secondary schools to come up in the state, and we would appeal to all the managing committees of secondary schools to put a request to the government to open more higher secondary schools. And if there are private institutions who are capable to open higher secondary schools, we will encourage them to open more higher secondary schools, because that will give an opportunity for our children to go for their further studies, to complete their higher secondary classes. In the absence of such opportunities, there is a likelihood that our children may drop out after the matriculation. Therefore, such infrastructure supports have to be provided by the government, which the government in its endeavor would like to see education system being improved in the state. We understand that there are a lot of constraints at the ground level. There are schools which need repairs. There are schools which need additional classrooms. There are schools which needs more teachers. All these have been compiled by the directorate. With availability of funds, we are going to take up these measures at the earliest possible. The department is also aware that there are shortage of teachers in many schools. The Honorable Minister has directed that appointment of more than 1,000 teachers on contractual basis has to be taken up immediately, and this process has started, and such schools which do not have teachers will be provided with teachers immediately. There are also teachers who have passed their MTET written exam and their interview have not been conducted. Those interviews will also be conducted immediately, so that those teachers who have passed the MTET will get their regular job immediately. So these are few works that the department is taking up immediately. But my only appeal to the teachers is that we understand the problems of the teachers of not getting their salaries on time. We understand the problem of the teachers of not getting regularizations. We understand the problems of the teachers of not getting their pension benefits. All these are being looked after. We will see that the teachers are taken care of. But my only appeal on behalf of the government is, I request all the teachers to take their job seriously. There has been reports that there are teachers who do not attend to their classes. There are reports that there are regular teachers who are indulging themselves in some other activities but not teaching the children. Rather, they are subletting their job to somebody else. I request them to kindly refrain from doing so, because the children and their future is in your hands. Therefore, the teachers, whoever have been appointed to any school, I request them to kindly deliver your duties sincerely. The government is there to look after your problems, and therefore we are all here to have a brighter future for our own children. Well, we are aware that there are many schools who have not been performing to the level that they should have performed, and the pass percentage in the matriculation results have been very, very poor. The department is taking these things very seriously. We will allow such schools to run for some more time, and we give them an opportunity to improve. Although they have constraints maybe of not having sufficient teachers or whatever could be the reasons, they should highlight their problems to the concerned authorities, but should not compromise on the performance of the children. Therefore, we will allow these schools to improve themselves, to come up with better results in the near future. And all the schools who have not performed well will be under the scanner of the department, and the time to time review will be taken on their performance. Just responded to that actually when I appealed to the teachers to kindly take their job seriously. When I mentioned that, I meant to those teachers who are not attending to the classes. Rather, they are giving away their responsibility to somebody else who is an untrained teacher at a very reasonable price or a very reasonable payment, a monthly payment. The government is going to take this very seriously. We are going to take action against such teachers who do not attend classes, who indulge themselves in some other activities rather than teaching, and for those teachers who have left the classroom in the hands of somebody else. Such teachers will be found out. We have already got few lists with us, and immediate action is being taken against such teachers. Besides that, the department is coming up with a system where the attendance of teachers will be monitored. It is not an intention to actually monitor just the teachers. It is a system where we will be monitoring the classroom. We would like to see how many children come to the classrooms. We would like to see how the children are being taught. We would like to see how many teachers attend to their duties. So when the system is in place, then perhaps over the click of a button, we can monitor every school of the state from our own table here.